Hello everyone, once again I am here with you all the another video of the class 8, the chapter Why Do We Need Parliament. In the previous video we tried to understand what is parliament, what are the different roles and what are the functions of the parliament. In this particular segment of the video we will try to understand why it is very important in democracy that people should take a decision. Let us try to see in this aspect why people should decide. Do you know, if you see the country during colonial rule, there were lots of problems. What were these? And why people should decide? Let us take the first point. During British rule, people had no right to criticize the government. Why people should decide? That most important thing is what? Sometime government passes decisions also which are not quite helping to the people to progress in their day-to-day life. But they are in no such position if that government is not elected by the people to criticize. You take the country during colonial rule, the government was existing and that was the British government, but whatever the laws they were making, if peoples were not willing to follow that laws, if these laws were not helping the people to grow or progress in their day-to-day life, the people has no right to oppose them. This is the reason, one of the most important point or one of the most important factor why people should decide in democracy, so that if government take any decisions which are not healthy or which are not improving the condition of the people, the government is being opposed by the people. Now how people decide? In democracy, through elections, what we do, we choose our elected representatives and we send it to the parliament. And in the parliament, on behalf of us, these elected representatives, they take decisions on our behalf. So this is the beauty of democracy, and this is how when this group of people take decision, they will take decision taking care the emotions, sentiments and the needs of the common man, which will help them to grow. This is the first point why people should decide. Second point, freedom movement changed the situation. The government were openly criticized, and in 1885 International Congress demanded elected representatives in the legislature, as we had discussed in the previous point. During British time, if the people were not happy with the British rule, then also they had no right to criticize the government. Yes or no? They were bound to follow the decision taken by the government. But in between, what happened? The freedom struggles has begun, and that freedom struggle has changed the situation. Now what happened? In 1885, the Indian National Congress, they demanded that elected in legislature there should be a people elected representative should be there. Correct? This was the demand made by the Indian National Congress. Another, the Government of India Act of 1909. The Government of India Act of 1909 allow the certain demand made by Indian National Congress in 1885 to participate in the decision making. But the number of participation in the decision making during the colonial rule was very less. It was after independence that we adopted a democratic form of government, and the people's representatives were elected through the universal adult franchise voting system. In that way, in democracy, it is very important that what sorts of decisions is being taken by the elected representatives. They are elected by the people. Okay, if it is so, then let us see the people and their representatives. In democracy, the people and their representatives, these are the two important elements or two important consent, we can say that. You see, in democracy, these elected representatives, they cannot do anything without the consent of the people. How? Let us try to understand. To remain in the power, to hold the same post and position in the days to come, these elected representatives, they need to enjoy the people's confidence for the longer period of time. And if they take any such decisions without approval of the people, then ultimately they may lose their faith, their hopes over the people, and in next time or in next election they may not able to get their support to reach in the parliament. This is what in democracy the people and the elected representatives, they are seems as complementary to each other. One cannot be subside for upgrowing or keep its interest or importance ahead. Another, individual or citizens are the most important person, as said. Here whatever the decisions are taken, these decisions are for not only some group of people. These decisions are basically taken collectively for every individual living as a citizen in the nation as a whole. These decisions must able to improve the living conditions of the people. Second, then how do people give approval to the government? Now, we say that people concerns are important. We say that individuals or the people are most important persons here. Then how these people give approval to the government? To give their approval in democracy, there is a system of what? Election. In one specific tenure, that is years of 5 or 5 years of tenure. After each and every 5 years, a regular elections are conducted, not only to send the elected representatives to the parliament, but in various other institutions which are performing its function in our country. There also in the regular interval of time the elections are conducted. So in these elections people give their approvals, giving their vote. So this is how in this particular segment, what we call as what, why do we need parliament, this we have discussed. These are the important note. Then let us see what is the role of parliament, if it is so.